know him from the Smiley Morning Show. Now he's got his own show. Radio Theology is on ZPL. Here's Pub Pastor Daron.
Live, local, and in your eardrums this morning. It's Radio Theology, my friends and family members. Well, if you're not family, you're state. You know what? You're a family here.
There you go.
Welcome back to Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. This is Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, you know what I was just thinking about is that everybody's going through a little bit of something different. We had a big monumental step in our home this week.
Okay.
And Ryan, your guys' family had a monumental step, but it's amazing. Just the separation of age a little bit, the differences. So what was the big thing your guys' family did?
Our son Gus got on the school bus for the first time.
It's big.
Oh.
Headed to school.
Big. Now, I know you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing probably not a lot of tears.
No, not at all.
And do you have any emotion at all about it?
I was happy for him. I was excited for him. I was like, he's going to have a great day.
Yeah.
You
Kind
do.
of safe bus, no
standard
problem.
optimist
Good school.
brand
How do you
that
think
I
your
try
wife
to
did?
follow. Lauren and I had a conversation. I said the last thing that he needs is to see either one of us get really upset in the driveway. So I said,
By either one of us.
I mean you. Let's save the tears till we get back inside.
Yes.
And that was well received, and there were some tears.
Yeah.
Lisa, you said when you dropped your daughter off to preschool the first time, you had a little bit of a waterworks situation.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I thought, okay, you can make it to the car. Just don't see her cry. I'm the same thing. She can't see you fall apart because then she'll fall apart. So dropped her off. I turn around and take one step and it's like, ah! So everyone, all the other moms watched me walk out bawling.
See, so that you guys had the tears of sadness, separation. We experienced a little something different this week in our home. There were tears. I don't know if there were tears. It was just more fear, anxiety, fear, panic.
Oh, wow.
Some trembling.
Our kid
Sounds like a great time.
Our kid didn't get on a school bus, but he did get a driver's permit.
Oh, whoa.
That's a big deal.
Driver's permit.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old son can now drive a vehicle. Everyone beware.
Yeah.
Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor in here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, here's the deal. They were like, get him out there on the roads, get him some practice behind the wheel, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa. I get it. He's taking a big online course. He knows all the information. He knows the signs. He knows he knows the stuff. But he is literally not driven on a road.
Yeah.
Can't we get some cones set up? A little practice course?
Yes, before he takes a deadly weapon
Yeah.
onto the road with other deadly weapons.
Yes, that's right. I totally remember getting that speech from my dad, by the way. Like,
You're not driving a car.
Yeah.
You're driving a deadly weapon.
you can kill someone with this. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Message received.
Well, and Ryan, you said you told your wife he can't see you. Gus can't see your wife cry whenever. Well, in our home, like Cole, our oldest, he cannot drive with my wife. I have been Dawn. I am the trainer.
Got it.
Because not that she'll cry in the car, but there could be some. It could be amped up. Let's put it that
Emotionally
way.
amped.
Emotionally amped.
Yes.
And what he doesn't need
great way
is
of
him
putting it.
freaking out about. I'm not sure what to do at this intersection. As she freaks out, it's a full freak out.
Yeah.
There could be. So I am going to be the designated driver trainer.
Okay. What I hear you saying is you're basically asking all of Central Indiana for all the prayers.
Need all the prayers.
All the prayers.
And I know I'm not alone. I know there are hundreds of us that have just stepped into this. But I am happy about this. Once this kid learns to drive, you know how many practices and stuff I don't have to go to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be. I just can smell the sweet taste of freedom. So we need your prayers, and we'll give you ours, whatever you're going through. Maybe you got a kid that jumped on the bus for the first time. Maybe you got a kid that jumped behind the wheel for the first time this week.
Yikes.
Let's pray for each other, encourage each other. Let's have a great morning together right here on Radio Theology. Bombshell confession right here live on the air. Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. And cold, hard truth from me, Pastor Daron.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. Kind of
Guys,
excited.
I know. I feel like it's time for me to come clean. I want to be a whole person. I don't want to hide behind anything. I want people to know the real me.
Okay.
All right.
Here's my confession. I love NASCAR.
I'm trying not to judge you right
Okay.
now in my
I love
mind.
it.
That's good. Is that why you wore your jean jacket today?
Yes, I love NASCAR. Not only do I love NASCAR,
Served.
I love NASCAR video games.
Oh, hold on.
I'm a 42-year-old man, and I love playing NASCAR video games. And it's a threefold confession.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even handle the first two.
Yeah.
Third one is this. I do own a steering wheel to play this game in my basement.
Wow.
I love it.
How does it
Did
feel
you say
to...
42 or did you say 12?
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
I felt like maybe you.
I am mature. I'm a dad of 3. I'm on the radio.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm not ashamed of the fact that I love... I am a real race car driver in a virtual world in my basement with a steering wheel.
Ah.
How does it feel to come forward like this?
You know, it's spring.
Yeah.
I feel at peace with myself. Here's my problem. I've almost won 2 championships in my racing career, virtually in my basement with the steering wheel.
Yep.
You hear him call it a career?
I have a career. I'm a signed driver.
Okay.
I'm now in the Xfinity series.
Don't take this the wrong way. What do you wear in your race car career?
Yeah.
Usually my pajamas.
Wow.
So
Wow.
The official uniform
just
of
like
Daron
the real
Earlyline
thing.
brand. Yeah.
my fire suit sort of looks like pajamas from Old Navy.
Got it.
Anyway, the problem is I keep losing the championships
Oh.
because I'm good. I'm getting some success.
So good.
And then I freak out under pressure, and I spin out, and I wreck my car.
Oh, that's the worst.
And I hate
would
it.
imagine for a career.
It is.
Yeah.
It damages my
Race car
career.
driver.
Then I have to fake tweet people in the video game about how sorry I am about wrecking into them in the car. It's a real thing.
You have to fake tweet people?
Yeah, they tweet me. Hey, dude, why'd you wreck me? I thought we were friends. It's fake in the game. It's real. It's real, but it's fake.
Got it.
It's kind of like wrestling. But anyway, it's Radio Theology, weekly dose of
Wow.
faith, hope, love, and music. My big confession, I love NASCAR.
Okay.
I love video games. I love putting those two together. Here is my thought, though. Can we get us a NASCAR racing spiritual segue?
Bro, you're the host.
Let's get it.
Spiritual segue.
Okay. Here's what I think happens a lot in our life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is we all have a career, right?
Sure.
Or like a job. We have a life that we're doing. It's way more real than my fake virtual racing
I
in my
hope
basement.
so.
Yeah, me too. But I think we get some success, things start moving, but we often keep spinning our life out. The
Yes.
pressures of life, parenting, career, friendships, whatever. We find ourselves spinning out and wrecking our life, putting our life into the turn 4 wall.
Okay.
And I
Yes.
think when that happens, a lot of times we're not sure what to do with it because we've just made another mess of our life. We've wrecked. What do we do with the wreckage of our life?
I go Ricky Bobby style, and I just hop out of the car and just run.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah! Ah! Help me, Tom Cruise!
This is going downhill fast. I think it'd be a great time to go to commercial break myself.
Ah! Ah! Help me, Oprah Winfrey!
I'm on fire! You're not on fire, Lisa? Yeah, no, I think most people do. Most people run away from it. We wreck,
Yeah.
we screw something up relationally, and that's usually where the biggest pains of our life come from. And then instead of getting turning into that wreck and saying, what really happened here? Why did this happen? We just run away from it, try to sweep it under the rug, make sure no one was paying attention, and then usually what I find is we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I've got a couple points I want to give us this morning that I think can help us, because here's what I know. You probably don't play NASCAR video games in your basement. That's fine. I want to invite you to join me. It's fun. I think we're all wrecking somewhere in life, and I got a couple points coming up next that I think could help you out. Do you keep spinning out in life? And if so, what do you do about it? Welcome back to Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, I think oftentimes in life we spin out because of character flaws or because of things that maybe we're not dealing with under the surface of our life. And before you know it, maybe we're losing jobs, we're losing relationships, friendships, maybe marriages. And I want to give us some tips this morning that can help us stay out of the quote-unquote walls of life. We just talked about in the last break, most of the time when we screw up, we spin out, we run away from the problem. Now, luckily, I am a trained NASCAR virtual video game driver.
Okay.
Emphasis on virtual.
I play racing
gosh.
video games, and I figured this out.
Okay.
Is that if you start to spin out, the way you save the spin is you got to turn into the spin.
Okay.
And
Right.
if you guys watch Cars, where Doc Hudson helps Lightning McQueen,
yeah.
know that if you're turning too hard left, you're going to find yourself turning right.
Right.
That's what Doc says.
Okay.
It's true. You got to turn into the spin.
Into the spin.
Which here's what I'm saying. If you've got something right now in your life that you've screwed up again, I got 4 easy steps for you.
Great.
Okay. Here's the first one. You got to confess it.
Yeah.
You got to own it, which I think is difficult to be like, I screwed up. Okay, but if we don't own it, we're not going to grow from it.
Okay.
But here's the next one. This is, I think, where it gets real difficult to turn into the spin. You got to actually get curious about why you did it, right? Because your confession that what you did, that covers what you did. I confess I did that. But if we don't actually get curious about why we do it, it's going to stay a mystery to us. And I think a lot of people, they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over, and they can't figure out, why can't I get out of this pattern?
Right. Yes, that's me all the time. But I'm trying to get better at it because God in his kindness is trying to teach me what it looks like to get curious. And then when I get curious, be nice to myself instead of mean to myself.
Yes.
That's the hard part.
That's so difficult. Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor here with Ryan and Lisa. Those are those two steps. Those two steps are, you got to confess it, but then you got to get curious about why did I do this? But then I think you guys are right. Is you got to become self-compassionate. You can't beat yourself up for the fact that you've made the mistake. If you keep doing that, you're just going to heap a lot of shame on yourself and stay in the same cycle. And I know that's not what we want. We actually want to, like, let's carry the metaphor, like, finish the race of life.
Cross the checkered, what is it, the yard of the finish line. That's what I was
Yard of
looking
bricks,
for.
checker flag, all those words.
I don't sports. I'm so sorry.
You do know relationships though, Ryan. Why do you think it's so difficult for us to be compassionate to ourselves?
Because I think it's easy for us to remember all the things we've screwed up on.
Yeah.
I think, and we just say, oh man, we lose sight that we're human sometimes.
Do you think there's something to us feeling like if we're nice to ourselves in the midst of a screw up that we're somehow letting ourselves off the hook?
That's something that I'm learning because I realized. So let's take my bedtime example. We shared it last week, and you found it this week on radiotheology.com. But it's this whole, like, every night at bedtime, I'm yelling at my kids. And I'm like, why? Why am I yelling at them? And then when you get curious and I look at it, I'm like, oh, because I'm selfish. And then to be like, that's ugly. That's an ugly thing to say about yourself and claim. And so, like, you don't want to stay there too long. But then when you start saying, no, but it's okay, we can move through this.
Yeah.
Like, it does feel like you could let yourself off the hook, and you might. And that, I've done that several times. Like, oh, that's mom guilt. Get out of here. But then when you really start taking ownership of the curiosity and the problem, then that is when you actually do start making those moves. And you're not letting yourself.
Well, because compassion for yourself isn't excusing it, right? It literally means compassion means with suffering. It means just being with yourself in the suffering.
Yeah.
And so not saying to yourself, like, you realizing, like, it's not I am selfish. It's there's some selfishness at play here. Yeah. I'm not selfishness. I'm Lisa Graft. I'm God's child. I'm loved by him. Let's get curious and then compassionate about what's up with this selfishness here. Let me move into this and then invite God to actually give me some insight in this. How that may begin to steer your life towards the life that God has created you for. Did you just screw up big time again? Well, we're here to help you on Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor in here with Ryan and Lisa. We'd love for you to join us on social media. Just go over to radiotheology.com. We'll hang out with you every day this week. Guys, often we make mistakes in life. Yeah. We can call them sin. We can call them screw-ups. We can call them wrecks. We do stupid stuff. We hurt the people that are closest to us. We spin out in life. And we're talking this morning about some easy steps to actually begin to clean up those messes. Step one is you got to confess it, which means own it. Like, hey, yes, I did that. That's step one. And it actually covers what you did. But then you have to actually begin the inward process of getting curious about why you did it. Confession covers what you did. Curiosity actually uncovers why you did it.
That's good.
But when you start to uncover it, the next step, this is a difficult one. You actually have to be self-compassionate because you're probably going to find some stuff that you don't want to find.
Yes.
And it's easier to just run away from that. Step four, you've got to get closer to God in the moment, which I think is difficult because I know as I grew up in a lot of my life, when I would screw up, I assume God's pissed at me. Here's what I got to do. Say I'm sorry and then run away from him as quick as I can so he doesn't like smite me or turn me into a pillar of salt.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I literally remember one time I made one mistake, the one time I did.
Right.
And I
like Jesus and then right below it's Lisa.
Right below it's me. But the one time I made a huge mistake, my closest way to God is through worship music. And I remember going, I can't even play this. I can't even play this because like I can't even enter his presence and his goodness because look at that.
I remember one time at Pub Theology that the ministry ran out in local bars. A lady came to Pub Theology. And you know, like people will say, like, well, I can't go to church because the walls of the church had burned down.
Right.
Like, different people say that. But she came and she felt so bad about her sin in her life. She was like, I couldn't believe it. I thought if I came to Pub Theology, the walls of the bar would burn down. I was like, well, that's saying something about your view on yourself. But it's Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Ryan, you were just talking about this last week. You did a road trip to Nashville.
Yeah.
And you actually found yourself like in an hour-long conversation getting closer to God.
It was
How do you even do that?
Yeah, for me, I knew going down and coming up, I was like, all right, I've got a couple calls I need to make. I've got a couple podcasts I need to listen to. By the way, if you're looking for a great podcast, go to Radio Theology, wherever podcasts are found.
That's right.
Shameless plug ends now. But I also knew, I was like, wow, I really need to unload and process some things in the car in prayer with God, and that'll be some really good time. So I knew in my mind, I was like, all right, that's on the horizon. It's going to be really good. I was anticipating it, and it really was good. Like on the way back, I mean, there was probably an hour where I was just praying out loud in my car, and that might sound completely crazy and foreign to you, and that's okay. But for me, it was just a really, really great process of getting back in touch, being super honest with God, and really having that time was a huge gift.
You don't need to divulge everything you talked about to God, but can you just give an example of like a sentence of what praying out loud to God sounds like?
God, thanks for the opportunity to be heard and come close to you. Thanks for the opportunity to go make music with one of my dearest friends. Thanks for my family that I'm going back home to. Let's go over the past week together.
So it's just a conversation like you'd have with a friend.
Yeah.
And there's a sense that you have that God actually can speak to you, like maybe contributing thoughts to you, whatever that you know. You know what? I think this is God speaking to me. So if you're there, listen, maybe you've made a mess of your life again. Maybe you just have some time alone. We encourage you to get closer to God because he promises that it'll actually come closer to you. It's what we say here every week on Radio Theology. We believe God is near you, not far away from you. And he's looking forward to the next time you guys can have a conversation. Do you need a little peace for your soul? Well, good for you right here on Radio Theology.
Been a rose on your nose.
It's time for a segment we affectionately call
Pieces. Okay, so you guys, I have 6 words for you.
6 words
that have changed my life.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Yes, 6 words that have changed my life.
I think they were just random words for a minute. Okay, we playing
Mad Libs?
Mad Libs. Okay, 6 words that have changed your life.
Yes,
Bring it.
I've only been using these words for like 3 weeks, and I stole them from Brene Brown. She's a famous author, psychologist, blah, blah, blah. She has a Netflix special, and you should check it out. Brene Brown. It's called The Call to Courage, and in that she talks about being courageous and being vulnerable, but she says, the story I'm telling myself is. So those are the 6 words. Yep.
I just counted.
Those are 6 words.
So when do you need to use those words? You just driving down the street and you say, the story I'm telling myself is.
Well, let me give you an example.
Okay.
So the other day I wrote something really personal and vulnerable to me, and I sent it to a friend and was like, hey, I think you might need this. Let me know your feedback, blah, blah, blah. I had seen that she had read this, but had not responded. So in the silence, the story I'm telling myself is, it must be so terrible that she has no clue how to even respond because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings and she doesn't want to lie to me. And so then I'm like, just scrap the whole thing. And it was just this whole moment. So I'm telling myself this story.
Yeah.
So there's the story you're telling yourself, and then there's the truth.
Ooh, yeah.
So the story I'm telling myself, usually worst case scenario. I don't know if you're anything like me. I love to fill in any gap with the worst case scenario, at least something negative. It couldn't possibly be, she read this and was so overcome with emotion that she could not physically respond, and then her kids swept her away to the kitchen to make dinner, right? I don't know. But when I revisited with her later, I'm like, listen, the story I'm telling myself is that you think I'm crazy. What's the truth?
Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Lisa Graft here with Lisa's Pieces. And Lisa, I think it's true. I know I've read this from Brene Brown too, and it has changed my life and even the interaction I've had with my wife. Because usually the story I'm telling myself, I react to it. That's what I respond to, and it usually does not end well.
Yes, I've started using this in my marital conversations, let's call them.
Passionate dialogue.
Passionate dialogue, right? Just how we demonstrate our love for each other. And I'm like, so instead of going, I can't believe you da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I say, the story I'm telling myself is that, fill in the blank, because we don't want to share our marital bliss on the air.
Right.
We'll save that for a later
The
example,
details.
maybe. Yes, but it's helped because I'm not blaming, I'm not shaming, I'm actually inviting him in to tell me the truth about the situation from his perspective. Instead of going, well, you da-da-da-da. So he shuts down and we yell and get nowhere. So I'm saying, just start. Start with, the story I'm telling myself is, and I've committed, I will not start a fight without starting with those 6 words.
That's good.
That's a
So-
huge
I like
commitment.
that.
Do it.
love that.
Yep.
I love it. If you want more of what Lisa just gave you, I know you do. It's going to be encouraging. She has a group of thousands of women that are part of IamMotherOfTheYear.com. Go check it out. She has a weekly blog, tons of great stuff and resources on there for ladies just like you. A dude can go there too, but it might be weird. Probably just stick with ladies.
Yeah.
IamMotherOfTheYear.com. Go check it out today. You take asparagus, Polish pigs, and a chainsaw. What do you get? You get this week's episode of
Lord have mercy.
Welcome back to Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. And we have scoured the globe, and once again, we have not been disappointed. Ryan,
man.
take it away.
All right, you guys. 64-year-old Jemima Packington over in the UK. She predicted the Meghan Markle, Prince Harry exit from the royal family. I'm
sure.
sure you guys have been hearing
Crystal
about
ball,
this.
maybe?
Yeah.
Crystal ball or magic hat, perhaps?
Tea leaves?
Well, it's funny. Her aunt used to foretell the future
Sure.
by interpreting tea leaves.
Okay.
Of course.
Jemima inherited this trait. Don't know how.
Syrup?
You'd think Jemima. Yeah, it's
Yes,
not
she could roll with that.
See
But
what
it's
you did
not
there.
syrup.
No, she chucks asparagus spears up into the air,
No.
and then they fall, and she interprets how they fall.
She doesn't eat it. She just throws the asparagus in the air.
I wish you could see this picture. We're going to post it on radiotheology.com. This woman hired some photographer to be like, stand in the field with me while I throw these asparagus spears into the air. Take a good promo picture.
How do you...
I don't know.
There's so many questions.
She
How
says
do you read asparagus?
There's no answer.
There's no words.
she's
There's no...
she's the world's only asparagus fortune teller.
Well, that tells you something right there.
She says she's usually about 75 to 90% accurate with her predictions. I go through my year quote, and I think, yep, that happened. Yep, that happened too. So, yeah, she predicted Megxit, I think is what they're calling it.
I'm calling her crazy. And I want to say heartfelt,
Lord have mercy.
Lisa, what do you got?
You guys, I'm so sad. You know, I grew up on a farm, and
Yeah.
so any sad farmer story breaks my little farm girl heart.
Aw.
I know. So there was this farmer in Poland that went missing right around the New Year.
Ooh.
And so they couldn't find him, had no idea, like just literally vanished until a neighboring farmer went to get water from the well. People still live like this,
Okay.
FYI. Went to get water from the well and noticed the man's remains in his pig pen.
Oh.
He was
Gosh.
he was eaten by his pigs.
Wow. That's like the exact opposite of the movie Babe. Abadi, you're dead, bro.
And with that, we say,
Lord have mercy.
We're going to end it in Germany. Guys, a guy got a chainsaw. Thought, you know what I'm going to do? Rob a bank.
Yes.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, why use a pistol or anything like that? No, let's go chainsaw style robbing the bank.
That'll
Solid.
scare him.
Cruises into the bank. Mm-hmm. This is a stick up or a saw up. I don't know what you'd call it. Reaches down to just to start the chainsaw, just to add extra fear in the heart of the people.
Yes. Ying, ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding, ding.
Except we forgot to put gas in the
No.
chainsaw. Yeah,
No.
there's no gas.
No.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just a sec. Hold
4 or
on.
5 more tugs here. It's going to get it.
I got to prime the pump a little bit. Hold on.
Yeah,
Nothing.
it never started, and they were able to go ahead and just disarm him of the said chainsaw.
Wow.
He's now serving some time in prison. We've got a call. Radio Theology.
Ja, guten Tag. This is Hans.
Hey, Hans, welcome back.
Hans.
Oh, how are you doing?
But we're just kind of laughing about this guy with the chainsaw. Forgot the gas.
So crazy, right?
Absolutely.
Listen, it's my cousin Helmut.
I knew it,
Getting
Hans.
into trouble. He said, Hans, I'll be right back. I'm going to go cut some wood and maybe rob a bank. And I said, I don't know about the second part, but you go ahead, Helmut. Sure enough, he goes. He's out of gas by that time, tries to rev up the chainsaw, and gets caught by the Polizei.
Hans, I don't understand how your family keeps getting wrapped up in all these situations.
Well, we're German. It comes with the territory. We're very, very crazy.
How you been, Hans?
Oh, I'm doing very well, just recovering from Oktoberfest 3 months later.
Wow, you must have hit it hard.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Good thing you stay away from the chainsaws.
Yes, well, we have a lot of them in the garage. He said, when I get out of jail, I'm going to come do it again. I said, Helmut, I don't think that's a good idea. Your track record is horrible.
Well, you keep speaking truth to him there, Hans.
I will. Love you guys.
See you, buddy.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, my gosh. From us and Hans, we just want to say again,
Lord have mercy.
Do you love your job enough to do it until you're 102? Now, that is a freaking long time.
Long time.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. Guys, we say it every week that God's created you on purpose and for a purpose. Mm-hmm. We want to help you actually discover that purpose in life. Mm-hmm. And when you do, it's amazing the energy, the satisfaction, and the passion that comes into life. And Ryan, you read a story this week of a guy who for sure figured that out.
That's right. 102-year-old Bob Vollmer is Indiana's oldest state employee, and he's finally retiring after 60 years as a surveyor for the Department of Natural Resources.
He's 102?
Yeah, he's been doing this for 60 years.
I can't even picture living to 102,
I know.
let alone working until I'm 102.
His mom lived to be, I believe, 106. So he's got something in his genes.
Uh-huh.
But I do think there is something to say, like being able to live a full life doing the things that you're created to do. You say all the time, Pastor Daron, that we're human beings, not human doings. Mm-hmm. But Mr. Vollmer has decided that working outdoors as a surveyor is his life calling. And he's only hanging up the hat because his body is telling him it's time to stop at 102. Yeah.
So, I mean, I love that. I love that thought for him that, like, was he put on earth to be a land surveyor? No, I don't think the career matters. But like you said, right, he found things he's passionate about, things
Correct.
that he enjoys.
Yes.
And I just love the idea that life isn't just like, hey, work a job and then like retire and escape from this terrible life as quick as you can. If that's your like view on your life, man, you're not going to make it to 102 because every day for you probably feels like you're almost dying.
Right. And his outlook is such that even in his retirement at 102, he wants to go back to some of the islands that he served on in World War II as a naval officer. He basically joined the service after Pearl Harbor, and then came back after the war, got a degree in engineering from Purdue, which we won't hold against him, and then went right into service, serving his home state. And so I think this guy's got a really unique outlook on life, that my job does not define who I am, and just because I'm 102 doesn't mean that I can, that I'm limited to go do the things that I still want to do.
Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor in here with Ryan and Lisa. And Lisa, you talking about this guy that he just retired, local Indiana guy, right? Was longest running state employee. He retiring at 102. Woo! Lisa, you say a quote that I like about creating the kind of life. How's the quote go?
It's about self-care, but self-care is creating a life that you don't have to escape from.
Yeah.
And that means doing the hard work. Sure, you can escape to a bubble bath, but is the bubble bath going to fix the problem of the fact that your relationships are messed up or you can't find your purpose and everything seems like it's a mess? No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, I love this. In fact, this guy, I mean, if he was working till 102, like he could have retired literally like 40 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like literally, he could have retired 40 years ago. He didn't want to escape from what he was doing because he found purpose and meaning in it. And if you are looking at a job right now, you're like, dude, I can't work 102 more days in my current job. I have no sense of purpose. Every day feels like I'm dying a little bit more inside. I want you to get the free 5-day Jumpstart to Purpose. I put it together just for you to begin to discover a little bit more of who God's created you to be. I'm not saying you got to work till you're 102, but I don't want every day of your life to feel like you just can't take it anymore. So head over to IamBornToBe.com this morning. You can get the free 5-day Jumpstart to Purpose. I'll send it to you for free this morning. If you need a jumpstart to find your purpose, go right now to IamBornToBe.com. If you could choose to be doing something when you die, what would it be? Ponder it. Right here on Radio Theology, a weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, I mean, I'm not trying to be morbid today. We have talked about a little bit of death today. We had the pig farmer that died by being eaten by his pigs.
Yikes.
Lord have mercy. We did have, I guess this guy's not dead. We just talked about the guy who's worked till he's 102.
Yeah, Bob Vollmer, longtime land surveyor, oldest state employee here in our Hoosier state.
So he's not dying at all. He's actually living his best
He's
life.
living.
Sure.
So there,
Full life.
it's a pick-me-up story.
Yeah.
Good.
But this week, there was a story that I read, and Ryan, if you look it up for me,
Sure.
there was a guy, a singer-songwriter, who literally died doing the thing he loves. And it made me think about that for a minute. Like, here's the guarantee for you guys. I know, not trying to be morbid. Here's the guarantee for all of us. We all die.
Yep.
Right? Now, the cliche quote is like, will you ever truly live?
I think that's in Shawshank Redemption at some point, isn't it?
I hope so.
Isn't that in Shawshank?
I hope it
all
is.
right. Yeah.
But in this case, this guy literally was doing the thing he loved until the moment he died. Ryan, hit us with the story.
Yeah, David Olney is a folk singer-songwriter. He died this past weekend playing in the round at a songwriter festival in Florida. And he was mid-song, and he's got his guitar on his knee, and he's singing his song, and he stops. He says, "I'm sorry" to the audience, puts his chin down, and dies. And so,
Sorry.
yeah, says, "I'm sorry." And people tried to resuscitate him, but by the time first responders got there, he had passed away.
Wow.
I mean, we're not making light. Obviously, we want to pray for his family, and obviously, the loss of life is difficult. You know what I mean, and tragic in some ways. But like, you got to die, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting out of the situation.
Yeah.
But if you found the thing that you do the best and that you love doing, I mean, I can't think of too many better ways to die than doing the thing that you love to do the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor in here with Ryan and Lisa. And I don't know. I'm just tossing this out there. We didn't percolate on this very long.
No, I've
That's a
already
great
got
word.
some ideas,
You
though,
do.
if you want to hear some.
Yes. What would you like to be doing when you die?
I would like to be eating filet mignon.
Oh,
Medium, please,
Man.
with a side of mashed potatoes.
right now I'm hungry.
Maybe a little glass of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet Sauvignon. You can talk me into it.
Ryan, what about you?
I think the story struck a chord with me, no pun intended, because of the whole, he's a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter as well. But, I've got this notion of being surrounded by my family, on a deathbed, the kind of romantic idea of like, the whole family's here.
Yeah.
We're around it.
You can go now.
You can go.
And you strum your last note.
Strum my
and
last chord.
Fly off to heaven.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Those
I
are
don't know.
good. Those are good.
Yeah.
I
What
like
about
those.
you?
Yeah.
I'm thinking firing squad.
Oh! Do you have the gun, or are you on the receiving end?
No, like I'm preaching like a really good sermon somewhere where they're really not cool with Christians, and then it's
Oh.
like, I'm like, turn to your Bibles. I know you don't have them, and they're like, fire. No, I'm kidding. I'm that.
Wow. That is not at all what I was
There's
expecting
no
you to say.
recovery here. I'm like drumming,
Yeah.
preaching,
Buying Jordans
speaking.
online.
Right.
No.
Just
No.
lacing up your shoes.
I'm kidding.
no.
I don't want to die by firing squad. No, I would say maybe playing drums, maybe preaching. But honestly, I think it would be just cool to be, just kind of like, laying there peacefully, with my family, whatever. Maybe
Blah,
some
blah,
people
blah.
singing in the background to just kind of peacefully nod off.
That's all.
And then they murder you with guns. Good grief.
Joking. I want to skip the firing squad. Listen.
What I hear you saying,
Recover, please.
what I hear you saying is you want to live a life where you're doing things that you passionately believe in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's what we want you to figure out or help you figure out, because we really do believe God's created you on purpose and for a purpose.
Wow.
If you'd like some more encouragement in that direction, head over to IamBornToBe.com this morning. We'll send you the 5-day jumpstart to purpose, or post this morning on RadioTheology.com. How would you actually like to die?
Oh my
Gosh. Fire!
Where is God when you face tragedy in your life? I know you have asked the same question. I know you have felt the pain and the struggle of that question. And we hope to offer some hope this morning right here on Radio Theology, your weekly dose of faith, hope, love, and music. Pastor Daron here with Ryan and Lisa. And guys, we're relaunching the Born to Be interview as a part of the Radio Theology podcast. And our first guest of the year is Brooke Martin. She's the evening anchor for Wish TV 8 here in town. Absolute rock star of a woman. She's phenomenal. We had her in because, Lisa, her story is one where her and her husband experienced really, really one of the worst tragedies that I think we would probably fear is losing a child. And she talks on the Born to Be interview about how she stayed close to God through that and what happened. I mean, fill us in on the story a little bit.
Yeah, so when she found out she was pregnant with her second child, during one of the ultrasound appointments, the ultrasound tech was like, oh, okay, we've got a problem. The doctor came in and basically had to explain to she and her husband that their baby was not going to live. So she had the choice to terminate the pregnancy or to carry through with the pregnancy, carry the baby to term, and then deliver it, and then watch her baby die.
Wow.
And that's what she did.
Unbelievable story. And I want to play a clip from the interview where we asked Brooke, how do you get through something like this?
One day at a time.
Yeah.
You just have to, I could say a lot of great sounding advice,
Sure.
but when you're in the middle of something, it's you and God. And I think that he is a God who understands and who desires us to wrestle, desires us to doubt even, ask the tough questions, but don't walk away. And that's what's the easiest option in these circumstances, is just to say, this doesn't make sense, I'm out. And I think a lot of us have that tendency, and I would just say, stay in the fire. You're not going to get burned, but you're going to get molded.
Wow, what a quote from Brooke Martin. And that's a segment from the Born to Be interview on the Radio Theology podcast. We're releasing the episode this week. And guys, that's such an amazing thing for her to say, to go through losing a child, but to say, you know what, if you're in a struggling situation like this, is don't run from it. Don't run from the fire. Draw close to God, and he'll actually mold you through this.
Yeah, the whole interview was incredible. But the thing that really stopped me in my tracks was watching you cry, Pastor Daron. I thought, is it allergies in the room?
No,
I
don't remember that. No, I think it was.
You have
like an eyelash on your contact?
I think. Yeah, I don't know. It was crying. I think it was
something. It's not just the cry. It was tears rolling. You had at least one rolling tear. So if this has piqued your curiosity, I'm thinking you're going to want to download this episode. It came out a couple days ago, and you will be able to find it on the Radio Theology podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
Fine, I'll admit it. Yes, I cried. Okay, it's an amazing story. Brooke Martin kills it. She's amazing. It's just great. So I cried. Cry with me. Download the episode. Ryan, stop looking at me with that judgmental face.
I'm so sorry. I was just looking in your direction. That's all I was doing.
Go download the podcast. Trust me, you'll like it. Just go search for Radio Theology wherever you get your podcast. Get some tissues.
It's the thought of the day with Pastor Daron.
I got a confession to make. It's okay. Just brace yourself. Here it is. I love NASCAR. That's step one of the confession. Step two is this. I also love video games, and when I combine the two, I am the happiest person alive. Yes, I'm a 42-year-old dad of 3, and I love playing NASCAR video games. But my problem is I'm good at the game. I'll be honest with you. I am good. But my problem is I keep spinning out in turn 4 right before I win the championship race. I get mad. I get angry. I want to break the PlayStation in half, but I don't because Lord Jesus Christ helps me. But what I'm saying is I keep spinning out right before I win the championship. And I've thought to myself, maybe my obsession with NASCAR and video games could help you, because I'm wondering if maybe you've had some success in your life. Things have been going well. Maybe you're dating someone new. You've got a new job, but you're worried because in your past, right when things start going well, you tend to spin out in life. You tend to lose control of something in your life, and you put your own life into the turn 4 wall, and it's a mess. It's broken, and it causes pain. If you're there, I'm there. I understand it. Well, here's what my NASCAR career virtually on the PlayStation and the Bible has taught me. When we spin out in life, we got to take 4 steps. Get ready to take notes, but not if you're driving. Just think about it. Step 1 is this. You got to confess that you did something wrong. That's actually dealing with what you did, and it's step 1 to cleaning up your mess. But here's the deal about confession, is it only actually takes care of what you did. It doesn't actually uncover why you did it. That's why you got to get to step 2, which is this. You got to get curious. You got to get curious about why you did what you did. My guess is some of your spinouts have a pattern. You've done these things again and again and again. And if you don't take time to get curious and maybe ask God and invite God into that process, you may never uncover why you're doing this. Here's the thing, though. As you uncover why, you may begin to shame yourself. You may begin to feel a sense of condemnation, or like that you're flawed or you'll never get fixed. And what I want to tell you is this, is when you face that, you need to embrace self-compassion. That means to begin to offer yourself the compassion that God offers you. You may have some problems. You may have caused some problems, but you are not a problem. You are dearly loved by God, and this is a process that you're walking through to learn how to love yourself the way He loves you. So you confess, you get curious, you get self-compassionate, and the last one is difficult for me. Maybe it'd be easier for you. It's this. You get closer to God. One of the cool promises we have in the scriptures is that if we draw near to God, he will actually draw near to us. So as we get closer to him, he gets closer to us. And here's the cool part. God isn't scared of your mess. He's not freaked out by the problems that you're creating in your marriage. God's not scared of what's going on with your character. He understands it. He has compassion for it. And even better yet, he has the power to heal it and actually deliver you out of this pattern of spinning out and causing messes. So where are you at in the process, friend? Are you currently looking at your busted up car of a life thinking to yourself, I've done it again? Here it is. Step 1, confess what you did. Step 2, get curious about why you did it. Step 3, offer yourself compassion for the process. And step 4, draw closer to God, because he promises as you draw near to him, he will draw near to you. If you need some help to start that process, we would love to hear from you here on Radio Theology. Just jump on radiotheology.com and send us a message this morning. We'd love to help you through that process. This is Pastor Daron Earlywine, and that's been your Radio Theology Thought of the Day.